The 24 seed. All right. All right. Five, four, three. And we're back for the 2024 Formula One season. Greetings, greetings. Probably, if you were to do it by our time zones, maybe like in Australia or Japan or something like that. But I don't know the last Saturday. Was it Las Vegas? Was that Saturday? Yes. Yeah, it was at one of those rough hours for us on the East Coast. Yes, assalamu alaikum. Which we have a decent fan base, especially in those countries. Oh, a lot. Well, I want to give my thoughts so far because the biggest talking point going into this season is that it was going to be more competitive. And I'm trying to read between the lines with there's a lot of manipulation. A lot of the theories from most fans was that Red Bull was sandbagging for most of practice before qualifying. My theory is the Red Bull is probably significantly better just as it was last year to most of the teams. I don't think it's going to be as dominant. I think Ferrari will challenge them more. But I think Red Bull will easily win this race, and Max will be instructed before the race, not on the radio, that this cannot be a blowout domination, that this has to be a victory within means of competition. Oh, totally. Yeah, yeah. Hmm. Oh, Jesus. Yeah, was it ever? Yeah, yeah. Yep, yep. Yeah, it's weird that event didn't go right to plan, but the race actually ended up being good. So I don't know if it's going to be more popular this year or less popular because there was so much angst with the businesses not actually receiving all of the money they thought they would get from visitors and fans and all that stuff. But it'll be interesting to see this Grand Prix, though. Okay, we have Max Verstappen qualifying first by over 2 tenths to Leclerc. Will there be a challenge within this race from Ferrari? It is the first race of the season, and this race has been pretty good for teams that don't end up being super successful for the rest of the season. It does have that history. So, what do you think will happen here? Will this be outright domination? I mean, even Sergio Perez, a guy who doesn't qualify necessarily well, qualified up into fifth, and they look super fast. Is it going to be a 1-2? Mm-hmm. The word was though that if he finishes second in the championship this season, because of all the contractual obligations with the best other drivers on the grid, that they would sign him to another 1 year contract. Yep, that's all bullshit. No one's gonna bring that guy back into the fold unless it's like some. Nah, nah, they won't bring him in. It's just past due. That whole thing with Mercedes was they think that Kimi Antonelli is like the next Max Verstappen, and even Toto Wolff was saying how he fucked up not signing Verstappen, and they're trying to keep that as an open option or something like that. The kid's 17. He's going into his first year at F2. He's won pretty much everything he's been in prior. I know. It's outrageous. Parkson, yep. And of the Red Bull, yeah. And what teams, as it seemed, move back? It looks like that Alpine is going to have a very rough season. I- Is it? Are they? I mean, is it better than last year's car? We'll have to see. But I don't know if they're just holding it back to a certain degree because there's always these guys that once you become too dominant, it's almost good to be dominant but not severely dominant, where you can have long term success. Yeah. Yeah, I saw that too. Yeah. But when you're having this much, I mean, I the foreseeable future until what the 2026 regulations change. Do you really see Red Bull not winning the next 2 years championship? I mean, it really would be rare for that to not happen. I like that. I like that green and black. I think it looks. I mean, it's different looking, but I mean, they've just been so fucking. They've been so fucking bad that like they just got to focus on getting that car because that team was okay for a couple of seasons being in like the top 10, but they've been in no man's land for a long time. Hmm. Hmm. Well, what countries don't follow the gambling? What is that? Ah, maybe you're right. Yeah, maybe you're right. Well, I think it's just the biggest event of the in the country's calendar, wouldn't you say? What is bigger than this in Bahrain? Yep. It now if you're Lewis Hamilton, are you secretly rooting against your own team this season and hoping Ferrari is just improving race by race? Yeah. Oh man, that was my big question too, because that'll be interesting. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see because you haven't seen a Mercedes situation where they feel like they've been screwed or something. And Ferrari will be interesting because Lewis has been so mad at Mercedes the last couple of years, saying that they had disregarded him. He felt disrespected that when he went to the chief designers and engineers, that they kind of just told them that his input wasn't valid about what was wrong with it. There's nobody bigger team that disregards people's input than fucking Ferrari. Now, that might be different because I think Frederick Vassar has been probably a better team principal than most, but it'll be interesting to see how Lewis works at Ferrari because those are two prima donnas on both sides. We got a super chat from Mohammed Nazibar. He says, At okay, at Ferrari, who is number one driver, Lewis or Leclerc? That's a good question because he's not coming into a Rubens team. That's a good point. He's coming into a team with a guy who's what 10 years younger than him, or maybe a little bit less, and a guy who's won their last couple of races, who they've put a lot of faith and long term contract into. So does he? I mean, Leclerc Leclerc's also he's such an odd entity because he makes mental mistakes, but I always felt when Vettel was at Ferrari, Kimi hindered him because there was nobody pushing him to be better. Will you see a better version of Leclerc when another number one driver comes in, or will he sink to the? I think he'll probably end up because he doesn't. Even though Carlos Sainz, I think, beat him in the championship points and probably had the only race win last year for Ferrari, he still is generally treated as the number two driver to Leclerc all the time. Oh yeah. Yeah, it's like it's not a huge amount. It's about five. The, que- the you know, it's a big question because it doesn't seem like he felt like he could win a championship with Mercedes anymore. Either Red Bull's not an option, so does he feel like Ferrari's the only team that could reinvent themselves into possibly challenging again? That means he's lost faith in Mercedes ever being able to challenge for a championship again. Or was this just a big money thing? Because he pretty much got everything he asked for in that contract. He got an insane amount, and then he got what he wanted from Mercedes, which they wouldn't dole out to him. That whole ambassadorship mixed with philanthropic interests for like a fucking huge amount of money later after he's done with Formula One. No. Yeah, that would that yeah, that did piss him off. Yeah. The Cadillac. Yeah, you know what? We should talk about that too. But let me just go. We have two super chats right now. We'll get to Cadillac real quick. One second. But one says Can Piastri challenge Norris from Williams 123C? Um, what do you think? I mean, go ahead. Can he be? I guess a better driver this season. Can he outscore him? Mm. That would be fucking embarrassing. Oh yeah. Oh, absolutely. Yeah, Red Bull now. Now with Lewis leaving in Mercedes too, it's like it's so weird. And that team looks like it's coming too. One more question, super chat, Bill Berger. Where does this leave Carlos Sainz Jr.? That's a good question. Where does this? Does he? I'm trying to think. What are the options? Didn't he sign something with Cadillac or what was? Did he sign some Audi? Yeah, that's. Do you think that'll happen? Yeah. Yeah, I mean that's max out. But where do you think he falls? He listen. He's gonna go to a team. He's got two race wins. He has beaten Leclerc in the championship. Does he end up at Sauber? Does he end up at? I mean, yeah. I mean, they'll that should be the nail in the coffin for Botas, hopefully, and get rid of that douchebag. God, did you see the picture of him on the TV with that stupid fucking mullet? Um, just a total but anyways, no, no. No. It'll be interesting to see. All right, did you see that the stat up? You see who the fastest lap ever here was? Pedro de la Rosa. Mm. It just said him. It didn't say what car he was in, but I'd have to assume it wasn't in the HRT. He he finished second behind Jensen in Hungary in 2006. Yeah, but that yeah. I don't think it was even one season. It was like a couple races. Oh, well, you know what? You just made a good point though. Before Ricardo, let's get rid of him. He's a total loser. Hulkenberg, he could get a 1 year seat at Mercedes. He really could. He hasn't signed anything long term with that team because he knows he has options because there's so much movement. And you know what? I'm rooting for Haas now because I hated Gunther Steiner. I hope they have a successful season. I'm sure anything will be better than that guy. He was becoming a brand in himself, which was stupid. Yes. Yep. Yep. Yeah, he's g- he's won. He won the British Grand Prix, the Singapore Grand Prix. I think he's beaten Leclerc once in the championship. That'll be enough for him to see another 3 seasons at least. You know what? He finally won a race. Okay. He's never going to be a world champion. He's lucky he got some time in Ferrari. And he'll be lucky again if he's ever in a seat again that really can battle for a podium. That's not too shabby by Formula One standards. I know everybody goes into racing to be the max, but that's not too bad. Okay, wait, 1 second. Two possible pit stop strategies. It seems to be soft, hard, soft, or soft, and then two hards. S- So we're gonna see two pit stops. I just wanted to establish that. Okay. Okay. Yep. He's got it. He got as much as he ever could have got. And man, this is crazy. Did you see that stat that this is the 20th anniversary of the Bahrain Grand Prix. It was the first Grand Prix to ever be held, I guess, in many years in the Middle East. The first regional host before you got Saudi Arabia and Qatar and Abu Dhabi and all that stuff. So absolutely. Yep. All right. You think so? Mercedes got away. Well, Uh-huh. Must have. So we got one incident. It was a yellow flag. And this time around, they'll probably get DRS soon. Yep. I think so. Yep. Oh, right by the side. Yep. Russell up into second now. Man, Russell did have a good weekend here in practice and qualifying, and even Total Wolf was saying, we're pretty pleased with third. He really didn't mention Hamilton at all. But yep, Sargent. All right, so Sonoda up in 10th for the right behind Hamilton. Hamilton right behind Piastri. Alonso. Uh Perez. I'm looking at this and looking at the future, and Mercedes and Ferrari, they're always switching positions. Who's better at a track? I know Ferrari overall is better, but I don't know. We'll have to see. I don't know. Yeah, Yep. Taking him out. Yeah, maybe I spoke too soon about him going to another team, but we'll have to see. Super chat from Rafi Tariq. Max number one, season over. Goodbye. I don't know. It's I want I I mean he's gapped them. It's lap almost and he's got a decent gap. I I wish I could disagree with you, but sometimes it's the way it is. I'm like with you though. It's like I love IndyCar because you go to a race and you don't know who's going to win, even if you saw qualifying, and it's just I I like Max and I'm a fan of him and I'm happy for him dethroning Hamilton, but I like that Bahrain race 2 years ago when he fought Leclerc and it was going back and forth and everything, and it was fun and interesting, and I don't know. Yeah, Hamilton's respectful of people that he thinks are just below him, but decent and respects them, and they'll kowtow to him. Uh, the only people he really doesn't is what is it, Fernando and Max and Yuki Tsunoda. People don't trust. So, well, like we're seeing, I like what yeah, exactly. And I like what we're seeing too with you got Leclerc, Perez, and Sainz all within a second of each other. So there is some racing, but again, I mean, it's good, it's good. So hopefully we'll see something. Hopefully one of these teams can get near Max or something. George Russell putting in a great effort for Mercedes in second place right now. Fuck. Absolutely. And was that Ferrari's thing too? Is that they want to own the seven-time world champion at the end of his career, that he now aligns with their brand for forever. So now they have Michael and him. Or do you think, or do you think it'll be like? And I know Senna's not a great analogy because he had an untimely death, but you don't really you don't put Senna together with Williams in your mind. You always put him together with McLaren. He sold that thing. Yep. I don't think he's. Go ahead. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's gonna screw my pick eight too. I didn't have it like this. Sometime now, I believe the Red Bull has one less pair of hard tires, so I think they have to do the soft, hard, soft strategy. I believe they have a different allocation than the rest. The rest of the field has different tires ready for the pit stops than Red Bull. Yeah, which is a nice way of sneaking the alcohol brand onto it. Peroni 0.0. Yeah, the Nastro Azario got a raspberry hard seltzer. Not at all. Unfortunately, yeah. No, and it's become, this is what it's going to be like probably. I thought there would be some sort of a challenge to Red Bull, maybe even at the start for a little bit, but mhm. Yeah, that would be a good question, honestly, at this point. The way it's going, it'd be more interesting if this was like 2007 or 2020 season where it's back and forth, but at this point, it seems comical to even follow it step by step. And that's one of the best. Yes. Well, oh man, that ruins my bet too. I said Asalva would be the first one out. Shit. Is he completely out? Is he getting out of the car? That guy, you don't know what the problem is. Yeah. Whoa. Oh shit. They're going side by. Whoa. That sign's over Leclerc. That's not Leclerc on him. Holy shit. Absolutely. No, you know what? You're right because one of the most popular podcasts is that Beyond the Grid, which is a review of the Formula One race after it, with what's his name, the '96 champion, Damon Hill, and two other people, Johnny, and there's some girl that's on there with him. Can't remember her name. Yep, pit stop. Yeah, pit stop in at 12 laps. All right, and he put on the hards. Yep. Yeah, cut a handful. Yeah. They were gonna develop a TV show around him. He was gonna be in like a sitcom about his own life or something. I remember reading. Never liked that guy. Yeah. hmm I like that. I like the color of the Alpines. It's a cool color. It's like a Williams throwback almost. Or is that the? Is that the Toro Rosso? Yeah, it's cool looking. Yeah, I don't know if he can ever fight for a championship if it's truly really close. He would need a dominant car situation because that guy, when the pressure gets to him, there's something different. He's not like Max in that sense. And what will? Oh. how many wins is Max even looking at this season? How many does he have now? Yeah, what? So we have the Emilio Romano one was missed last year because of weather conditions. There was flooding and stuff. People died. But is there anything that was added or no? Yep, China's back too. Big thing for Guozhou Yu home race. Mm-hmm. Yep, yep, absolutely. That Hungary is very cheap. There's a couple that really makes it. Yes, I just did see that. They make it good for some general admission, but if you're in North America, I'd advise you go to Montreal. That's a fun Grand Prix weekend over all these American things that have just destroyed the prices of everything. And Montreal is a fun city. You'll have a good time away from the Grand Prix itself as well. Yeah, got to go get a hostel for the night probably. Yeah, three. Mm. If you're already in China, it'd probably be cheaper, but plane ticket there too would cost you some money. Oh my god, bars, culture, art, museums, everything, parks, festivals, everything. Hmm. Yes, and if you go to a soccer game at their Olympic stadium that they still use for their MLS soccer team from the 1980s or whatever, they've got a lot of events going there. From okay, super chat from Ben Stolen. Give the review show a shot. We'll let you know if we want you to come back on live or not. All right, we'll see. We'll see. Got one vote of confidence. Do you hear the name though? Ben Stolen. Okay. Jack me off. Yeah. Yes. Yeah, we should try. We should try when the seasons are like this. I mean, fuck, we're at like 16, and it's a foregone conclusion. Oh my god, Dick, Dick. Oh, okay. Okay. Oh god. All right, so we'll try one of those out too. All right. For yeah, Saudi Arabia is the next one. In Saudi Arabia is yeah, and Saudi Arabia is not really a big passing place either. It might be worse than this. Mm. Yeah, they really are. They really are. These guys are batting it out for number one as a driver. Shit, man. Carlos sounds like fuck you. No, and he has a lot to lose because he's out of a seat. He's already lost it, but I think he'll land safely somewhere. I can't imagine him not having a seat next season. Yep. Maybe we'll see more out of Carlos Sainz. But maybe Sainz has one of the. He's gonna be one of these F1 drivers too. Now that there's like not really that much pressure on him, maybe he can just function better. Yep. Not their best, but pretty decent. Oh, now this fucking pisses me off. He's gonna try and look at the second message here. Read 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 that out. The second. Look at that. Did you read that? Okay. That's great. That was good too with Russell and everything. Go. Yep. Yeah, they're pretty much battling for position now. But Russell did signs did pit, right? Am I wrong? Okay, so they beat Russell. They undercut him because Russell pitted before all these guys. No, this fucking infuriates me. If you read those messages, if anybody's not reading it, who's just listening to the stream right now, Leclerc just said that his car is moving to the right when he's braking. So that was his first excuse to cushion why he's not in front of signs. The second part of was this is too fucking dangerous. We can't be fighting like this, which means revert back to me as the number one driver and don't question. This is such pussy shit. I can't handle it. And by the way, Carlos Sainz, all the fighting we've seen between the Ferraris, it's not been like Lewis and Max. It's been totally respectful and completely. Mm. I just saw that locked up. DeSantis 911 super chat says, "Yeah, maybe do podcast, but do live stream for the big ones, Monaco, Monza, etc." Okay, that might. I would like to do maybe the big ones, and then Mexico is meaningless because it's just a fucking parade. But maybe you're right. Well, we can't do my. We can replace that. We can replace that one with like Japan or something. Yeah. No, no, no. I like to enjoy that whole day. Go up there, make breakfast. We make breakfast at like 9 a.m. Oh man, that's coming up soon too. Yep. All right, we'll try that out. We'll see that. We'll definitely do that for Saudi Arabia. Everyone listening, all right? I like the input. Everybody, put your input. What you guys think? All right. Ah, yep. Man, I knew Perez would get up into second place. Man, I should have never fucked you. You fucked with my mind, telling me Leclerc was gonna get in second. This guy's a basket case. He can't do anything. Should have followed my own instincts. It'll be a Red Bull 1-2. Yep, I know. I knew this. I should have followed my goddamn gut. I really should have. I thought Hamilton has moved up from ninth to eighth from this race. Do you think he's just totally demoralized by all of this stuff? It's been 2 years since a victory. I mean, it's bad. I mean, he's never had a point in his career. If you think about him psychologically, he's never been in Formula One where he didn't have a shot. Even when he was at McLaren, he'd win at least one race a season when they weren't performing at the best. He walked into a McLaren team. He's now gone 2 seasons without a victory, and Russell was the last one who got a victory. And even in what was it, Singapore, he almost got a victory. No. For Ferrari won't embrace you either unless you do something significant there. Like you have to either win a championship or win in Monza or do something because as much as Vettel was there for seasons and probably won 15 races there, maybe some. I mean, even Alonso did too. It's like they really only remember you if you win at home for them or you win a championship. That you need to do those things for that fan base, those group of people. It's 2007. We're going to come up on if if the regulations don't change in 2026. If they were somehow to win, that would be almost 20 years since the last time they won. That's insane when you think about Kimi winning that and where Ferrari was at that time. That they wouldn't win a championship for another 20 seasons. Fuck. 2000, the year 2000. Yep. But Michael was fighting for them a couple of years before he got that with Ferrari. But it's like it's just it's been the yep. But I don't think people ever saw Red Bull emerging as a championship team or Mercedes. So like from 2007 on, the idea that neither McLaren nor Ferrari would win for another 20 years, if they in fact do that, is just shows you how much change can happen in this sport at a time. Mm. Who did McLaren? Yep, Adrian Newey. But then you had at Ferrari and Mercedes, you had James Allison. So that's some. I mean, I think James Allison, he's probably great, but he was also in situations with a whole great team with him on top of that, So I don't know. Hmm. No. Is Lewis bringing Bono with him, his race engineer? Total Wolf seems like a vindictive fucker. I think when you turn on him, he turns on you. You're dead to him. I can't imagine he's going to help Lewis in any way, shape, or form, other than the pleasantries that an Austrian like him who wants to further his career will do in public. Hmm. Yeah, no, that was Abu Dhabi, 2010, and he flipped him off after at the end of it. And I remember even Martin Brundle was like, "What the fuck are you doing? You should blame yourself. This is pathetic." You know. But let's get back to the race for a second. So we got Verstappen, Perez. Hmm. Yep. Doing nothing. Yep. Yeah. It I know, and it feels like it's been hours. Jesus Christ. We're the worst advertisement here for Formula One. It's so damn you got Sargent down in last, Hulkenberg 19th, Gasly 18th, Botas doing nothing. You could clear Botas out of there. Sargent, I know he's trying, but he'll be out by the end of the season. Ocon and Gasly are like, what did we rope ourselves into with this fucking team? Ricardo 15th. Horner is more horny for fucking Ricardo than anything else. He always is saying that if he does well enough, he'll bring him back to Red Bull. But Ricardo is being outperformed by Sonoda all the time. No, no. Hmm. He should be in there right now. This is a joke that he's sitting out. He had so many great point scoring races. I mean, his first race ever. He's doing all this stuff, and it's like you're just wasting your time with this guy. Lawson should be there. I mean, that's really an affront to the whole program that it's a development team that you're putting this guy in there. I think Horner was like this was this nice guy who was a transitional figure between Vettel and Verstappen that when Red Bull wasn't fighting for championships anymore was still creating a positive vibe and dynamic and winning races when they shouldn't. So he has this affinity for this guy, I think personally, more than he like I think he's more personally attached to this than professionally thinking. And you know, yep. Yeah, and it's like you said. I think he's just he's living in the past and he's remembering these times and stuff, and it's just he wants Ricardo to be something he's not. It's like anything in life when you hope somebody or something in your life is something, and you can't wish them to be that. Yeah. If he does some incredible stuff in F2, they'll get him into a Williams seat at the minimum. I say they said that. Okay, I didn't read that. Unless that happens, you're right. Hmm. Yep. Yeah, just sign Alonso to a one season thing, maybe. It would be that would be. I would be so psyched. I might even buy some fucking Mercedes apparel at that point. Yeah, sign him to a because as great as that as great as that. I know the Aston Martin team's developing. Alonso's too far in age for him to win a race with them outright. It's possible he could go to Mercedes and get one more victory. Yep. And he's doing this well in a team. I mean, I know he doesn't really have any competition from Stroll, but I mean, he's doing good, man. For that team, what he's doing, he's still got it to a degree. He's still got it. Yep. It- And these guys are different too in this age because they're much more fit the way they take care of their body. I think Hamilton and Alonso are similar. Even though Hamilton is a jet setter, I don't think these guys are get out of shape or heavy drinkers or smokers or anything. And I think they really look after their body. And I think Alonso and him, they'll be able to still maintain that talent that other drivers, perhaps a Kimi Räikkönen or someone else who have lived harder lifestyles, can't in the long run. Helio Castroneves is a good example of that. Oh yeah, and he'll have a shot at it, even though the last couple of years haven't been as good as the previous couple of years. But he's been fighting for another victory there in his early 40s, and if he's in the right situation, I mean, it wasn't too long ago he came in second place a couple years ago. Yeah, exactly. Exactly, and I always see them mention that at least a little bit, that there's still every year a possibility that someone can break the record. So yep. Well, yeah. You have to be honest though. Hmm. Grosjean, Palau. Yeah. Yeah, true, true. Now, did you see that transmission from Lewis a couple minutes back that his seat's broken? I don't know what that means. Isn't their seat molded into the car? I don't know what he could be referring to. Yes. Ain't this Isn't this indicative of everything? uh, there's something wrong with the gun. That's like Botas and Monaco when they couldn't. They had to take a day to get that tire off or something like that. They had to bring it back to the factory and do all these things or something. Yeah, we've been seeing that order in a couple races, haven't we? And Max, now for anyone listening, around a 16-second gap to Perez 1-2. Signs in Leclerc. Signs over Leclerc. Norris over Piastri. Good. He's, I don't know. That guy never has. If he had any luck, it'd be bad luck. And it. Well, is there any aberrations here? We have Sonoda. Looks like he could possibly get a point for AlphaTauri, or is it still AlphaTauri now? Or they changed it. Red Bull Racing. The carb. Yep. Not right now. We've had about 5 comments so far during the show, but anybody, any questions, let us know. Concerns. I think they're as bored as we are. Jeez. It's such. I mean, that was the biggest load of horseshit, and you could see how disappointed Michael was. He was just like, "This isn't racing. They're just trying to keep me out for the sake of being a bunch of pussies." Mm-hmm. All right. Yeah, I thought maybe, but I thought that could have been an option, but I think he still has high hopes that maybe once he got rid of Gunther Steiner, rearranged, could do something. But Formula One's such a difficult thing, and it was one of the few things I thought Mike would be able to tackle way more than Gene Haas. Absolutely, Michael is a much more driven person than him right now, and And Michael's not as a cynical figure too. I mean, when Michael wins the 500 or anything, you see him on the pit wall, fucking hugging and smiling. I think he just loves motorsports. Yep. Yes. He's got something still. Yeah. He was gypped. He was gypped from that though. It's not like he was on his own volition or anything. He didn't pull J.R. Hildebrand. Yep. No, 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 no. That was Paris. That was Paris. Yep. Interesting. Interesting from them. All right, let's look at the stats here. He's 40 seconds behind Verstappen. It says here. Signs is 1.8 seconds behind him. How long has Signs been on his Okay. How? Okay, yeah, let's watch that. Okay. So, how long has Signs been on hards? I'm gonna check. I'm gonna go to the F1 website. Let me see how many lap Signs has been on hards. Rhubarb Randy says, not a good season opener, gonna turn off a lot of fans. Uh, I don't know. Formula One's been like this for a while now. You know what? Do you know what I gotta say though to you, Rhubarb Randy? Um, I didn't even know the race was gonna be on this Saturday. I didn't see a lot of like pump up of this is gonna be a great season and all this stuff. It's been a very like milk toast type of like opening to the new seasoning. Christian Horner. I didn't know this race was on Saturday until yesterday. I hadn't heard anything about it. I hadn't. I'm on Twitter, all this stuff. I didn't see anyone. Oh, can't wait! All this stuff. It just seems like a very soft opening. and just like I don't know, did they know it was going to be this dominant? It's like you said, they're more involved in Christian Horner texting some girl about Choco Puffs for breakfast than this other bullshit. Trying to, because it's more interesting than what's going on the track. Yes, absolutely. It's it's a lot of salation. Like I know it's got to be a reality show, but they stretch things that were like a minor story to like a really ridiculous degree. And the one thing I have to say about that Drive to Survive, it is fun to watch and it's interesting. If you don't know about Formula One, it actually is a good time. Especially you got a girlfriend or a wife like that who's not into it. You really could bring her into the fold by getting her to watch that, honestly. But they made the one thing I had problem with is the episode about Grosjean's crash into the fire. They made it seem like he was sitting in that fireball for 5 to 10 minutes, just burning alive. I'm sure it was bad, but if you watch the real event in the Drive to Survive version of it completely distorts reality to a such a crazy degree. It's unfathomable. I know that, but I'm sure. I'm sh- I'm sure. I'm sure. Yeah. And they make shit out of nothing. That's why Verstappen didn't want to participate. He said they made some bad blood between Norris and Ricardo over something that never happened, and he said it was, not right for them to do that and stuff. But it's grown the sport. They got to do what they got to do. It's all about money at the end of the day, and there's a lot worse shit that's done in Formula One on a financial and global level than that. So you know what? I would if you got a girlfriend or a wife who really hates this and you watch it, if you turn her on to that, it's almost like the Kardashians. Could be helpful. Yeah. And most of these guys a- and most of these guys with the exclusion of like Hamilton are actually friends with each, which is odd by Formula 1. Like a lot of them are close buddies and stuff. Like especially the younger crew like I think Leclerc, Albon, Stroll, Piastri, Norris, Russell. They're like all came up at the same time and have been hanging out with each other for over a decade. So it's hard to really start stuff with them like that. But we'll see. We're on lap 42 of 57. If you're still listening, we really haven't been talking about the race. We got Verstappen, Perez, Sainz, Russell, Leclerc, Norris, Hamilton, Piastri, Alonso, and then Stroll is rounding it out at 10th. But I don't think we'll stay there for the remainder. I think he still has to pit. hmm There's only one car that's within a second of a car in front of it, and that's Leclerc to Russell at the moment. Yep. Typical. And I think pretty sure Stroll will have to pit too. I don't think he's pit yet. Mm-hmm. Can Joe Guan Yu get a point for Alfa Romeo? I mean, but he's got Alonso on fresh tires behind him, right? 2 seconds. There's no way he'll be able to keep that. No. I like what you said, man. That Alonso idea to Mercedes, I think, is good. But Total Wolf, it's like, does he want Vettel over him there? Like, I don't know. You I think Alonso's done. I think Alonso did more with that team than Vettel did. So I would, and he's current too. Absolutely, absolutely. And Vettel made his choice to retire. So I'm tired of this fucking retire. If you're gonna take a sabbatical, be like pros, take a sabbatical. But yeah, yeah. So he's wondering if he's gonna. That's signs. He's wondering if Russell. Well, Sainz has got a pretty good gap to Russell, though, doesn't he? Or is he trying to think of Perez? Yeah, yeah. Hmm. That would be a big race for Sainz, beating Leclerc and then getting all the way up to second. That'd be some big shit for him. He needs to establish himself at this team. He's thinking, hey, man, I know I don't think it's going to happen, but he's thinking if he does well enough at Ferrari, maybe he'll get a Mercedes seat for a season. I don't know. Yep. 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 Absolutely. Oh, we got a new comment from the D Sorkai. I started watching Formula One after my family celebrated Kobayashi getting third at the Japanese Grand Prix. Okay. I have no idea. So D Sorkai, I see a Japanese fighter, so he must be Japanese. So maybe that was a big deal. Yes, and that was his last race at Honda, wasn't it, or something like that? And he was like fighting everybody. That's what got him the seat the next season. It was the last race. You, yeah, and the D sort guy. That's a good point too, because if you're Japanese, your family's Japanese. I mean, he could not have gotten his only podium at a better fucking place. The Japanese Grand Prix as a Japanese driver. I remember watching that, and there was a bigger ovation for him on that podium than anybody else. No, there's no way. You can't be. No, you can't be. Because Sato won two, and I think if you saw Sato at the plane after the first win, it was big. The Japanese, sorry to cut you off, but the Japanese respect winning above everything, even a podium. Their absolute victory or shame. You know what I mean? I know the podium was big, but still. Mhm. Oh shit! Locked up. Leclerc. Leclerc onside. He's got him. He's got him. Oh fuck! What a fuck up. Yeah. Was that? That's for fourth. That was for fourth, and he was having a good Grand Prix too. And Hamilton's up to seventh now, so it's like now he's gonna be within two spots of you. It's not like you even outshined him, really. Jesus, jeez. Well, some stuff going on. Oh yeah, oh yeah. I mean, there'll be some decent points for the team. McLaren, let's just shuffle out the team. So we got Red Bull's number one, obviously. I guess you'd say Ferrari at this point is the number two team. Mercedes are hit and miss sometimes. I think the McLaren, the thing with McLaren is sometimes they start really well and then they get mixed up in the shuffle and go back. They're starting pretty good at this season. This is, still around where they're at. Can they get back up to like last season when they were in Belgium and stuff? They were fighting for second and third for a couple of races and everything. Yep. But again, like you said, that was pretty obvious going to happen. Yeah. Nope. Yep, they sure the hell did. I would love to see those numbers because it's so international. It's like the ratings for America. I know the ratings for the overall season in America were the highest they had been in years, and that's partly because of all the American Grand Prix that had been going on. You had Miami, and then you had the introduction of Vegas, which I think probably got people who don't usually view Formula One to view it. And what's the third? You got Austin. So then you had three Grand Prix in America, probably the most for any country, obviously. But oh yeah, you got the celebrities, the rich people, the jabronis. So I think it's up, but it's like you need competition to hold those people. Like I wish that was up during a time where you just this is what you need. Either you need two guys within the same team fighting, or even better, like we had for so many years with Ferrari and McLaren. One guy in Michael, another guy in Mika, or Kimmy and Lewis, or Felipe and Lewis. Like one guy from each, and then maybe even another guy in a team. You just for the top spot, you need competition for this thing to really grow in American sports. Yeah, and he couldn't handle it. And even Mika Hakkinen, not Mika Hakkinen, Nicky Lauda said he finally got it done. Why would he want to go back into? It's like I think Rosberg's whole life was trying to do that, and then once he had it, that's it. He didn't need anything else. And he wanted to fuck, and he those fuckers hated each other. Then he wanted to beat him, and then do the biggest thing to hurt Lewis he could have done was walk away after he beat him. So the last time we saw each other, I won. That was, and Lewis, you could see, hated that aspect of that situation. Yep. Here, I'll go dominate you for 3 or 4 more seasons. Rice pudding. We got a super chat from Rice pudding. I've been listening to you guys since Montreal last year. Give it a shot. Maybe cut out the boring races, do every other, figure it out. You never know. We'll support you no matter what. I appreciate that very much. Maybe, yeah. Maybe we'll try that next one. We'll see how it goes viewership wise, but maybe some interesting races. I was thinking like Japan, Monza, some good. I love the Hungarian Grand Prix. I'd love to do a live for that. That race is always fun. Um, I don't need this. Yeah, it's not like he's gonna hunt down Magnuson or Joe or anything. No, no, no. Go back to your thing. Hmm. Let me look at the schedule because there's some fun races, and then there's some races where it's like Mexico's got to be the most boring race of the season. You got, you got. All right, so you got the Saudi Arabia, then you got Australia, you got Japan. I would do Japan. China's usually a very boring Grand Prix. Miami is a terrible Grand Prix. You got Monaco, Montreal, Spain. I'd like to do Red Bull Ring. That's usually decent. Silverstone. That's a good classics. Baku. You could skip Baku and Singapore at once, but Monaco's got. So we'll see. We'll definitely do the Brazilian Grand Prix. That's my favorite Grand Prix of the year usually. Yeah. Okay. All right. Maybe we'll start doing that. We'll see, guys. We'll see. But Rice Pudding, I thank you for the support that you'd watch either way. Yeah. 16. 16 usually, right? And they always had more meaning, and a lot of them weren't boring Grand Prix too. Like, the thing is, the Grand Prix they have added have been very shitty. Like, it's not like they've been adding these things that are like insanely competitive and race to the edge type of thing. Those haven't been the ones they've added. Visa, Heineken 0.0, Estrella 0.0, Peroni 0.0. Point zero. That's the next. That's the next one. That's the next one. Yep. You see Yuki Tsunoda on the radio saying, "Why'd we switch? He's not even fast. Let me go by." Yeah. So why'd you switch? You know what? He should have put his fucking foot down like Verstappen and said, "Fuck this. I'm the number one driver here." Yeah. And to go do what? What, he's getting close to Magnussen? The best they could wish for is 11th if they were somehow to get past Magnussen. Show. They're not going to get to 10th. That's another 10 seconds away. They're not even going to get past. They're not going to get past fucking Magnussen, probably. You know what? You shut me down at the start of this Grand Prix, me saying, you know what? He'll win, but they'll keep it within a margin so that it won't be. They won't try and change the rules. But you're like, no, fuck that. That's wrong. You're absolutely right. 20 seconds, not to a different competitor, to your teammate. So the next best guy is your teammate within the same team, and he's 20 seconds away. This season, and I must have read all of this wrong. From this must have been, I got completely duped like every other jabroni. This might be a more dominant season. I mean, this is already insane. 1-2 21-second gap, and then your biggest competitor is Carlos Sainz from fucking Ferrari. Are you kidding me? He's 10 seconds ahead of Leclerc. Oh my god. One race in IndyCar is more competitive than 5 or 6 races in Formula One. Specs here and all that. A super chat from Rodeo Clown. Don't feel duped, Alex. We all thought the same. Guess so. All right. Thanks. Rodeo Clown. It's me. Yeah, exactly. I had some false sense of hope, Rodeo Clown. Yep. I think we're gonna have to wait for what 2026 at this point. I'm being honest with you here. I think it'll have to be some big regulation shakeup. The problem is when a regulation shakeup happens, and then if it's not Red Bull dominating, another person begins to dominate. Exactly. And then like maybe if Red Bull don't hit it, then they'll still be able to. The thing is, Red Bull is good enough where they'll be able to compete even if another person gets it right. So that's our only hope. But God, yep, that's it, Max. Max, Perez, Signs, Leclerc, Russell, Norris, Hamilton got up into seventh, Piastri in eighth. Let me check this against. Let me check this against what I put down. I put. What did I put? I put. I had Piastri in eighth. I had Lando Norris in seventh, and Lewis Hamilton. No, Carlos Sainz in sixth. I fucked up big time. Lewis Hamilton fifth. I had Russell fourth. That's off. Perez third and Leclerc second. All right, so I didn't do too well here, but I'll get something. But yeah. I mean, the people who commented, the people who listened, we actually got a decent number for this race. Again, usually we have some fans in the Arab part of the world. I Yeah. I think what did he finish? He finished was Russ. Yeah, he got in front of Russell, didn't he? So maybe he got fourth. Yeah. Yep. Well, Jeremy Clarkson will have something to say about this boring ass race. He always shits on this stuff. That I feel bad for the fans there because I mean, what you see a couple of battles with Ferrari for a couple of moments. This was a very shitty race. I think we're gonna take We're definitely gonna skip the Saudi Grand Prix. Do a podcast. I think that's a better idea. A review, especially that race, which is usually boring as shit. But we'll try that. We'll see how that goes. But thanks for everyone's input too. On top of that, and everybody watching here, we got a really decent number for this Grand Prix, and hopefully we'll see more challenges coming up. I'm not super hopeful of that, but yeah. Thanks for everybody tuning in, guys. All right. Mm-hmm. Then season. If it's this bad at the start, yeah, we'll have to see. I hope Christian Horner gets up on that podium with them after all this bullshit. But yep. Thanks everybody for watching. I'll put it out on the channel because there's like usually an info button if we're gonna do a podcast when we release it. Probably be right after the race. But the Saudi Arabia Grand Prix is next week. I'm assuming it's gonna be much like this, but we'll give you our thoughts in the video. All right. Thanks for watching. Thanks for commenting, and always like and subscribe at the end. Thank you. Bye bye. All right. All right. Yep. That was a decent